listening to another episode of Shop Talk. I'm anime protagonist Dave Rupert, and with me is Chris Coyer. Hey,
What,
Chris.
do I get to be the sidekick or do I have to be the antagonist?
You can be antagonist.
Oh my gosh, that's fine. I do have some enemies.
But I was vibing my hair. It woke up, my hair decided to be very anime today. It's just very swoopy.
Like it.
And
now it's just in the area where you could keep it. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't hate it. That could be your new personality.
Yeah. I do
is.
like that I don't control this experience. Like this last 3 months, I've been totally not
so
in
long
control.
for the ride.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a guy who
passive.
rocked his hair like that we used to know. Nate Croft, maybe?
Yeah.
Remember that guy? Mm-hmm. That's like Nate Croft hair. Okay. We have a special guest on. It's been a minute, so thanks, Mr. Todd Libby, for reaching out about some very interesting work you're doing and to be on the show. How are you, Todd?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Have you been on Shop Talk, Todd, or were we on your show? I forget how it all happened. Or
I invited the both of you on my show.
Okay.
Many moons ago, and
for the Front End Nerdery podcast with you and Homer. Yep.
We've had that on hiatus for quite a while. We're planning to resurrect it at some point. So
nice. Yeah. I mean, it's been a little over a year, but that's it. That's not that long. Well, wonderful. So Todd Libby of the famous Front End Nerdery podcast. But you had something more specific in mind that you kind of told us about, and we're like, that sounds like a big deal these days and an amazing thing, which is basically deceptive patterns, to say it in 2 words, right?
Yes.
Which we probably all of us have a little bit of an intuitive understanding of, but what do you think of it as when you hear those 2 words?
It's more of a commonly used term now, steering away from the term dark patterns, which was originally coined in 2010, which is still in legalese as far as over here in the States and internationally. It's still known as dark patterns, but myself and a whole lot of other people, we thought, you know what? Deceptive pattern sounds a lot better because deceptive fits the mold.
It does. That's what it's doing. Whereas dark has like just a tiny little bit of racism built into it.
It certainly does. Yes, connotation and exclusion.
Yeah. Okay. Deceptive patterns is better then. I'm on board. Let's call it what it is, which is deceptive. I can imagine it. I don't know. People, even if you're not have anything to do with the world of building websites or digital products, know exactly what you're talking about. Have you signed up for Noom? Well, I'm sorry for you, because maybe you lost a few pounds, but if you've ever tried to quit, good luck. It's one of those things where you need a note from 2 different doctors or something, I forget the real thing, but chances are you're probably going to be calling Amex to see if they can stop it, because it's like impossible to quit. Point being is that they use deceptive patterns they make it real easy to sign up and then impossible to quit. Is that what you mean, or do I have that mischaracterized?
That is one of those patterns. Yes, it's one of those patterns that we are working on in the what it's called the safety and deception subgroup for WCAG 3, which still isn't a thing, but it's exploratory at this point. So if anybody tells you, we are going on WCAG 3 standards, well, they're it's they're
that's
not.
A big old maybe.
That's a big old nope. Actually, they're probably should stay in 2.2 or 2.1 territory for now.
Oh, I see. Is that beneficial though? Because I don't know. I don't know anything about it. What's WCAG for one thing? Let's back up for the people listening, because if I'm confused, I'm sure plenty of listeners are confused.
WCAG is the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. Those are those guidelines that a lot of people are like, well, this is a difficult read, but
But they say stuff like you should have contrast for the text and stuff like that. And if you don't, you're in violation of those guidelines, which is not good to the point of, okay, I don't know when it becomes illegal, but it does at some point even, right?
There are, certain countries, even certain states in here in the United States that have, I don't want to say illegal, but, they give you a little hand slap and say, make sure that, you have a level playing field for the disabled community and make your stuff accessible. Domino's Pizza.
Classic of the genre, really.
Yes.
So WCAG. Yes. So, I don't know. People say WCAG, right? Did they say that? It feels like they do.
You know what? I've heard it pronounced about 20 different ways, and however anybody wants to pronounce it is fine with me.
That's funny. I always thought that those like A11Y had extreme irony to it, because there was literally years I didn't know what that meant, and then isn't that like part of kind of the spirit of accessibility, is that things are understandable that should be? I was like, is this very acronym inaccessible? But I didn't want to be like that guy, so I didn't.
Oh, you're not wrong
about it. Yeah,
you're not wrong at all. It's actually it's a numeronym because it's letters and numbers, and it is not accessible as much as abbreviations aren't as accessible unless you have the entire abbreviation spelled out
You just don't want to be like the destroyer of fun, because there's like conferences and stuff that use it, and you're like, maybe if it's used enough, then it becomes okay or something. I don't know. Anyway, so there's okay. Both you and Dave know way more about this than me, so maybe I'm a good foil for helping to understand more of it. But that's there's 2 and 2.1 and 2.2 and stuff. That's not that interesting to get into, but those are already real and already
correct.
Yes, in the world. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that they don't evolve. Is that correct? That they can still be changed? Is that true?
Correct.
They still are. We're working on, and I say a lot of other people who are currently on it, because I have a lot on my plate.
Yeah.
There are people working on 2.2 stuff now. 2.2 and 2.1 and 2.0 are all backwards compatible. So those are all, in use still today.
Okay.
3 is an entirely different subject. 3 will not be backwards compatible because there's, a different a different outlook, or failing to find the word here, but it'll be
philosophy on some things.
Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah.
I read an article this week, and I didn't, I follow this half, but it kind of breaks up like success criteria. It's not like pass fail anymore, which I don't even feel like WCAG 2 is like pass fail, but but it actually gives you like a 1, 2, 3, or 4 grade, sort of like a per criteria or something. I haven't seen like the actual final document. I don't even know if it exists, but it was just kind of like this, like, yeah, you're like a so-so on that, on captions or something like that. And so I think that was kind of like a, I'm curious where that goes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious what Todd thinks, because I got like my own like nuanced. I'm slowly becoming the villain of accessibility. So
no, let's hear what Todd has to say. But I will say that in my little like RSS readings, that more and more people are willing to say WCAG 3, and they say like, it'll come one of these days. Like that seems to be like the little blurb that is sprinkled out into public usage, is like, watch out. It's not watch out, but like, it's not so distant that we don't even mention it. It's like maybe it's quote unquote coming or something. Is that?
It is, and I don't know if I'm letting the cat out of the bag. And I'm kind of being sarcastic at the same time. 2029 or 2030.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
There
Yeah, so
is
we're off. Yeah.
There's a lot of work that needs to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's okay.
Like one of the things was like the big thing that people talk about is like color, right? We're switching our whole color contrast algorithm, and it's APCA,
Well, I remember
APCA
that.
or whatever.
But isn't
And
there like there's like one guy that's like blocking it, kind of, right? Yeah.
it's a delicate situation, and I
Okay.
think last I heard that was not the case, but I still see it like, oh, this is all getting fixed, or use these and APCAs instead, and I'm like, actually, hold on, don't like hold that, wait a minute. But anyway,
So
yeah,
APCA is not the standard. It's not, as far as I know, the standard that will be adopted into WCAG 3. That, yes, I definitely agree. It is a very touchy subject and situation. One I steer clear from.
yeah,
Yeah.
But coming is fair. I mean, okay, but we can leave that alone because what we're here to talk about is deceptive patterns, right? And if those go into WCAG 3, great, but that's a number of years off. That's why I said maybe it might be quote unquote better if they come backwards to 2.2 or something, because what I'm thinking in my mind is, wouldn't it be neat if these really were, even I don't even know what these are yet. We're going to talk about that. But if there's some kind of thing that says slaps you on the wrist or worse for using a deceptive pattern, putting it in WCAG sounds nice because it's the law some places. And that means now the law has stuff in it that says, I don't know, if you make your freaking newsletter impossible to unsubscribe from or some crap like that, that now there's some teeth behind the problem. I see all the time, like there's companies that cannot resist the temptation of using these things because even if they're called out for it, even if their customers hate it, yada, 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 the benefit to them for using it for reducing churn and making more money and stuff is worth it. If they get a couple of angry blue sky skeets or whatever about it, they'll be like, that's the cost we pay. We made $500,000 by making this product hard to cancel. So skeet away, nerds.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
But not if you get sued, it ain't.
Right.
And
even the threat of a lawsuit isn't as scary as it used to be, because a lot of companies can say, we'll let legal handle it. And legal, you take it and you work to settle it out of court, and we'll sweep it under the rug and we'll call it a day. Kind of like Domino's did. And many other companies. Target was also one. The deceptive patterns work can't be put into 2.x because it's since it's now, I believe, editor's draft. It's done. It's just revisions.
Right.
So going forward, it will be in 3. And we're working to keep what we've been working on in the group, myself and a couple other people. We're working to keep these guidelines that we have written. We hope to keep them and develop them, and we're doing a lot of research. We hope to keep them into the version 3.
Okay, so they maybe or will be in 3. I think I had that backwards.
I think
they won't be.
I'm pretty sure from what we have, and we have written. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 guidelines. 5 of those 6, I believe, will definitely make it.
Nice. That feels very digestible and very podcastable. Can we do all 5?
I mean, we could do all 5 in a TLDR kind of format.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That does sound awesome. I have no idea I've never seen this. So let's do it.
What are like the 5, I guess, I don't know, top 5 deceptive patterns to avoid that are going to be in WCAG 3.0? That was for the shorts. I wanted a good title for it.
Well, one of them would be artificial pressure or time pressure. and that's fear of missing out. The old FOMO. That is one of them.
That's great. Okay, so you go to some website and it says you get 20% off, and it starts a timer for you. And it's like you better, and which is, it's just this is for the shorts too. It's bullshit. That's not cool. I know how you started it. It's a set interval in JavaScript. Is irrelevant to your business. So you're going to put that in a guideline that says like that is wrong.
Yeah.
And is it wrong because it just is wrong? Is it like wrong because almost like it's in the Bible wrong or something? Because it does feel like, I don't know, that's a squishy. It's like a moral judgment or something.
Well, we have an unofficial, as of right now, kind of terminology with essential time and artificial time. Artificial being the bad ones, essential being, like we have a timer for, this show, and we have an hour, total, and we're at the, 15-minute mark. You have 45. That's an essential timer.
Okay.
Like when I buy movie tickets, it's like, you got 10 minutes to finish this transaction. We're going to release these movie tickets. That sort of thing is essential, maybe, or
that with me. And I'm trying to leave my bias out of this. With me, that is an essential because, you have that time, and maybe you get sidetracked with something else, whatever going on over here, and you come back and the whole process is started again. That's essential because, somebody else has grabbed your ticket, but you can go in and grab another ticket. There's not, all the tickets aren't gone. So I would consider that an essential. I will give you a bad example, which is there was a plugin for Shopify called Hurrify. And what you did in this plugin is you made your little flash sale, and you go and set the timer and everything. And then when the timer ended, you could restart the timer again. And this Hurrify plugin got kicked out of the Shopify plugin store.
Just because it was like to incent, or what is it? It's like scarcity, like it creates scarcity, right? Fake scarcity. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man.
A good way to check.
It's just gross, but even if it is kind of like almost moral or something, everybody knows there's a line and it's hard to draw that line. So I'm glad you're drawing the line. You're doing a good job of being like essential time, artificial. You got to use real terms and like suss this stuff out, which can be difficult because everybody knows that says like, I don't know, if a pop-up came up and said, you better buy these shoes because, I got your family in a shed out back. Obviously that's too far, right? Do we all get that? A little too far.
Well, but Chris, I noticed you didn't forward my email, which about the Virgin Mary and Barack Obama being the devil to 5 of your friends, or else you will die tonight. I noticed you didn't do that. So.
Right. But it's arbitrary, and how do you quantify that? Well, that's a threat, and maybe that one's easier to quantify. But a countdown timer is harder to quantify. It's like on this line where you need somebody to like think through all the technicalities of this, so that there isn't this squishy ass line anymore. And so, anyway, thanks, Todd. Good job.
Well, a good way to check is to refresh your browser, and if the timer resets, then it's.
Don't tell them that. They'll just set a cookie and.
Can I go a little meta, maybe real to my life? Like the day we're recording this is like Amazon's big fall discount party, Primoween, I think is what it's called. That's what I'm calling it. It's Primoween, and like it does, like. I would assume like promotional events, like timed seasonal events falls into, I guess, the essential. It's not essential to their business, but it is like this. We're doing this sandbox promotion. That's sort of in the realm of not deceptive, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That again would be essential. Something like what you see it all the time on travel sites or hotel sites. Oh, there's only 3 rooms left at this rate.
Oh yeah, dude! Doesn't it just? It smells like a lie, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me the book.
Yeah.
Show me the spreadsheet of who's checked in that day.
I want a video of you knocking on doors. Show me.
Yeah. Show me. Get the flight attendant to take a picture of the airplane right now.
Yeah.
Pointing to the empty seats. No.
All right, we got through one, so maybe we should get through the second one.
Let's keep going. We got more.
Another one would be, and again, these are in development, so no misleading wording. So
Love this one.
This one is geared towards double negatives.
Oh, it's the don't not unsubscribe?
Yeah, it's don't not opt me into your newsletter or your subscription or this, that, or the other thing. So
yeah, you never know. In fact, anytime I'm about to unsubscribe for something, I almost like pull in my abdomen muscles and like pull my shoulders down and be like, okay, I gotta focus here. What garbage am I in for?
You're like, focus up, dude. Hold it together.
Yeah, totally. Because there's no way it's going to be straightforward. There's no way there's going to be a button that just says, like, click this to unsubscribe forever, and you click it and it takes care of that promise. Like, every one of them is different. We're in this world where every one of them has a trick.
Yeah, the big one for me is, I would like to see just that little toast notification or that pop-up say, allow us to collect your data, yes or no, instead of don't allow us to not collect your data.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gosh.
Want to miss out?
What's that?
Want to miss out? And you're like,
exactly.
No, I don't.
What?
But yeah, I do in this context.
And
gosh.
A lot of these are geared towards people with cognitive disabilities or people with learning disabilities or, in that realm.
Oh, that makes it so much worse. Like, that's what the designer of it was thinking about. Like,
absolutely.
How can we dupe these people?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Well, there's like a whole industry on like preying on the elderly to like just hand over money. It's called politics, but I guess does this also include like examples like no, I hate kittens or whatever, like unsubscribe. Yes, no, I hate kittens. That sort of thing.
Would it cover? Would a button that says "No, I hate kittens" be covered by this?
No, I do not want to hate kittens. That guideline would cover that kind of.
That
button.
would cover it because it's because you don't know what you're clicking. But if it was more clear, yeah, okay. Well, so there's still some gray line.
A lot of these too are just. It's not just one pattern. It's like 2 or 3 in one. Mm-hmm. So that button may be a button that leads you to another page that says, "Oh, here's where you sign up for kitten haters or what have you." So a lot of these are packaged, roach motels, for instance. And if nobody knows what a roach motel is, it's basically the steps a user has to take to unsubscribe from a newsletter or from a service, because they lead you into that trap and they keep you there and they wear you down.
Crawl in, but you don't crawl out.
Exactly. Yeah. And
I wonder if there's if like the languages could be clear, but the pattern is still deceptive. Maybe this is covered by another one. But here's an example: is that sometimes I click an unsubscribe, and unsubscribes are different than. They're still nefarious, but like the worst thing that happens is you're still subscribed to a newsletter. So it's like, to me, it's bad, but not on the scale of badness of other deception. But anyway, you click a link from the newsletter and it unsubscribes you just via the GET request. Like just the URL has already done the job of unsubscribing you. And then there's a button now where you land, but the button says resubscribe, but you have to catch it because, you have to notice that it doesn't say unsubscribe, because so many other ones you have to click the button that says unsubscribe. Now these new ones say resubscribe, and you've clicked it and you're trained that you should click the button on where you land, but if you click it now you're back on. It's like, but they couldn't be hit by your rule because the language on the button was correct. Like it's doing what the button says it's going to do.
Yes, and so I should also mention that these that we're working on these guidelines, they have to be testable. So that's the big thing. They need to be testable. So
interesting.
That said, your button that you're talking about, that's definitely something that we are focusing on. As we need to figure out what we can do as far as those kinds of buttons go, as far as the buttons that we've seen up until this point now.
Yeah, I guess that's the danger, right? Is you get this language just right and you nail it, and then because these people are already nefarious, they design things that skirt these guidelines, that your language isn't clear enough to catch them. So, all right, that's too dark. Let's keep going. What's number 3?
So another one, and this is one that's a monumental task. No misinformation.
No misimformation.
Yes.
Okay.
Whoa, you're coming after YouTube like that. It's entire social networks here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it seems okay to me to put the onus of adhering to that on people that make the content and the platforms and stuff. I don't know. Do you need to describe what misinformation is?
We do. And I'm glad you asked that question because basically what this entails is a process, and that process being, can a process be completed without navigating through misinformation? Can a user complete a form without having some sort of sidetrack to get them to do something that will financially benefit this company, instead of I have to fill out this form. Okay, I have to fill out this form to unsubscribe or to cancel my account. Hopefully not through Amazon, because that's a 7-step process. But check if there's a process. Make sure it doesn't include misinformation or redirection. And redirection.
So this is about something interactive that you're doing. This doesn't cover passive. You can publish a website that says these are the world's best sandals, and even though they're not the world's best sandals, that's not misinformation. You're not asking anybody to do anything there. You're just lying.
Well,
or whatever.
Right. That's more regulatory, and we don't want to get into the regulatory stuff in the W3C.
So this is, you are performing an action on a website.
Yes.
Okay. And there can be no misinformation during that process, which is like filling out a form.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Another one is no hidden preselections. So when I give a talk on deceptive patterns, the most famous, infamous examples are from the Trump 2020 campaign. where people were taken for their life savings because they had a pre-selected box that and I'm trying to remember back here, that said, the box was checked and it said something like, the the radical left. Let me see if I can find this here. Okay. The box is checked. It's in bright yellow, and it says, "We need to know we haven't lost you to the radical left. If you uncheck this box, we will have to tell Trump you're a defector and sided with the Dems. Check this box, and we can win back the House and get Trump to run in 2024." And then
wow, that's a very complicated checkbox. You have a lot to read.
Oh, there are even more wordier examples of these. But this one also has underneath, "Make this a monthly recurring donation."
Oh, I see.
And so the problem here is, well, oh my God, if I'm one of his supporters, I don't want to uncheck that box. But yet it's going to take money out of my bank account or my credit card every month.
So it's either give us a monthly recurring donation or you're part of the radical left. That's what that checkbox was. Oh my God. The checkbox is the ultimate manifestation of like either or, like you're on one side or the other politics. Oh my God. That one's rough. That's real. Oh my God.
That is real. Yep.
It's real. Yeah. I'm looking at websites. Very real. So The Verge reported on it. Well, that's how we know it's real here.
Yeah, and you would be forgiven for not even making it to the end of that text to read it all, You're just like, yada, 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 radical left, uncheck the box, got it, or whatever, and missed the part where you're trying to give him $1,000 and you just gave him $1,000 for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That there was news items and articles in that I saw where people were losing hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because that might not be the only one you get too, right?
Yep.
Like you might get a lot of those. Yeah.
Oh, they peppered people with those.
Oh well, it's always I joked earlier about elderly, but it's like, dude, it's like you get your grandparents, or I guess some of us are getting older. You get your parents' phone, man, it's ringing off the hook all day long. Like, Calvin Newsom, it's trying to transgender you're just like, and it's just, depends on where they're at, on what they've been hearing that day. They might believe it or they might not, so
try
giving. I used to get mad at the like in Parade magazine, the little insert in newspapers, been there our whole lives. There'd always be a page or something trying to sell you like a golden eagle coin, which is just some like, and I was, those seem tame now, but those are a scam too. They're worthless. They're selling you a piece of worthless metal and they're trying to sell it to you for $100 or whatever. Obviously they're trying to get one over for some reason that they appealed to my grandpa. So I assumed that it was preying on old people or whatever, but now that seems tame almost in comparison to what we have going on now.
My grandfather loved those Parade the America collective plate set.
Good. Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
$69.99. America.
Yeah. Do I have to tell you if Trump has coins like that or not? Because I think you know the answer.
Giving this talk in southern states has been an experience for me. I'll put it to you that way.
Hey, if we need to throw Democrats under the bus, I can do that too. I get texts from Raphael Warnock's grandma. She texts me, telling me I got to donate money. It's like, I don't live in Georgia. Raphael Warnock grandma.
You should, at the end of the talk, you should be like, oh, and the eighth one is actually that you're not supposed to key anybody's car either. So.
But
that's a good, where I'm headed.
So hidden preselections, just so I could put this in.
Yeah, finish it. Yeah.
It's basically, we want to make sure that, that people's finances or privacy or safety is not in any way affected or hindered.
So this is hidden in that, like, not literally display none or visibility hidden in CSS.
Right.
It's like it's just buried in the text or something.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of, we actually have some, like on the CodePen support form, I have a couple of inputs that are display none, because they like pre-fill like what your user ID is and stuff. It was just like a little bit of so that when they submit the form and it comes to us over email, that we like have a little bit of metadata on who that user is, or like what their referring page was or something. But I'm like, I would rip them out if it was against the law to like have information submit with a form that people can't see, because I like don't hate that as a law. But we weren't trying to do anything nefarious with it. But the law is the law. But that's actually not what you're talking about. You're talking about more like just it's deceptive.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
And another one, I think, I believe this is one of the last.
Okay.
ones.
4 or 5, round 4. Yeah.
Yeah. No obstruction. So. This one brings a smile to my face, because overlay companies be on the lookout, because this handles not only no obstructions like DoorDash when they had when you were on the mobile app, they had a tooltip that covered the price of the get your food extra quick, $2.99, which that's not really a thing, because I tried that once as an experiment and it was still 30 minutes.
Didn't speed it up. It was
they weren't here in 15.
Yeah.
But no obstructions as far as don't put a tooltip in the way of a price, so that somebody knows, hey, this is going to add another $3.99 to the total bill, or make it movable, or make it easily dismissible. Don't hinder visual elements on the page, please. The other one is a clearly dismissible content overlays.
Ooh, juicy.
Please make it so that your content in your overlay does not obscure or obstruct a task or content, for that matter. Is it dismissible? Is it movable for task completion? And again, does it hinder visual elements? If it does, it's a fail.
It's a fail.
If it's not dismissible, it's a fail. If it's not
that's going to be a tricky test, You're going to need Cypress to test that one, You got to render the page to look. Yeah. That's okay. It's still testable. Yep. Very cool, very cool. I'm sure, Dave, you're a fan of these, right? You're like Dave's middle name, more lawsuits in tech, Rupert,
Yeah, whatever gets us there. No, I think I think I like it on multiple levels. I think this is something we've all observed. I think, I like Chris, I see a link in our little show note thing to like Brad Frost's like death to bullshit, which is like, pop-ups and overlays and ads and, just websites are just becoming Cory Doctorow style and shitified, and I think having standards claws that back a bit, to give the user agency. And I think I love that it's under the accessibility umbrella, like the WCAG umbrella, because A, that has teeth, like legal teeth. That's cool. But then 2, I think, who does this impact the most? It's usually people with disabilities, like unable to dismiss an overlay, somebody with motor control or keyboard only or something. That's a problem for them. Like if you do a bad job, you like, I get frustrated, and I'm able-bodied and have high dexterity and can mouse click that little 10 by or whatever 4x4 X on the ad. I can do that, right? But like, if you can't do that, that's awful. Like, you're just stuck with it, And so I think like having it under this umbrella is awesome, just because it definitely does impact people on, on the disabled spectrum. That's kind of a wide spectrum, but like, more, right? It's in the cognitively, like you were saying. I mean, maybe you can talk more about that, but like, we used elderly as an example, but you could be, MR or autistic or, or kind of a wide spectrum. I mean, even neurodiversity, like ADHD or something like, there's, all these things are kind of, harder for people in those contexts, just people, who are like struggling to get through your website because you've made it difficult on purpose. And I think, like a lot of WCAG is like, you made it difficult by accident, we hope, but this is like, oh, for those of y'all who did it on purpose, here's some extra stuff for you.
Oh, that's a good point. Like what is the target here? Is this almost more to fight against nefarious people, or is it more to help people who did it on accident who just need some guidance? Or is it both? I mean,
it's a lot of both. Originally in the functional needs subgroup that I worked on in 2024, we had two definitions for deceptive pattern, which is with intent, and an anti-pattern, which is without intent. Without intent being bad UX or bad design, period. And our definitions for those were, let's see if I can find them. An anti-pattern is an unintentional, without intent, design or implementation that often leads to a general decline in usability. And then a deceptive pattern is a deliberate anti-pattern designed to confuse or deceive a user, used to aim or force, and force is one of the keywords here, a user down a particular path, or to trap, another one of the keywords, trap attention in a way that redirects or focuses on a goal that the user either doesn't want or need, or be harmful to them. So when originally I brought this to the functional needs subgroup, I was thinking of, how do we stop these nefarious people from implementing these patterns, or getting designers and developers to just, learn a little more and stop doing these patterns that they see? And then another one of those points of view that I was looking at is, how can we help people with cognitive disabilities, with motor skill function disabilities, with neurodiversity? How can we help them navigate what's going on better? People with mental health issues, especially because a lot of what we're seeing these days is, and even if you don't have a mental health issue diagnosed, what we see every day is just, it's a bummer. And I try to spend less time off the internet as much as possible.
Because of this, like you wouldn't, but the internet has become so freaking deceptive that it just bums you out, and you're like, I'm not even going to use it anymore. Wild. Okay, so this is, and this is getting it. It's not the first time ever that there might be teeth and laws behind websites doing nefarious stuff, right? And what got me here is that when you Google this word, deceptive patterns, what you're going to land on deceptive.design immediately. It seems like the number one search hit in a lot of stuff. And this is like Harry Bringle or whatever. And there's some, he's got a book around it and all these.
Harry Bringle.
Sorry. Yeah.
I didn't know that until this week. And I'm like, wow.
Okay.
Ooh la la. Doctor. Okay. But yeah.
Right. Is this full. You never know with this stuff. Is this fully in alignment with what you're trying to do? Is he an ally to this cause? You go to that website. It's a pretty nicely done thing, but it cites a bunch of laws, both in the U.S. and internationally, of things that are protecting this, and lists, literally court cases and stuff that have been won and companies have been paid. It seems like for the same type of thing that you're doing. So what would you have to say about that? Are these little piecemeal laws and you're shooting for wider scope here, or are you just one of the cogs in this machine? Or
so that website, deceptive.design, is pretty much my number one go-to as far as when I kick off research on a certain type of pattern.
Okay.
And so I highly recommend not only going to that website, but also buying the book that he has. And I'm not receiving any kickbacks for the book either. I just think I have it on my bookshelf. It's a great book. Lots of great.
Clearly a strong advocate for what's going on here. He's made kind of his career around it in a way. You'd think, like what. I don't know. You don't have to put words in his mouth, but I'm assuming he would be very supportive of this getting into the official accessibility guidelines of the internet. Yeah.
I have spoken with Harry once. We had it was not a great call as far as technical terms go, because he's over in he's over in England. I'm here in the States.
I see.
So it was kind of
there was some choppy Zoom stuff going on or whatever.
Exactly.
Well, it's got to go to China and back, Todd. So
right. We did have a great conversation. Matter of fact, his book was originally called Dark Patterns, but after
he changed it.
Well, not just me, but there were other people involved too. I'm no catalyst, mind you, but he decided to change that, and which I thought was really great. I'm really glad that he decided to change the title, and it was almost at the very last minute before the book got printed. So,
nice! I didn't have to change the book. The book is just called Deceptive Patterns, and it's always has been. Oh, that's great! What a good call.
I think he would be. I haven't had the chance or the pleasure to talk to him since. But I think he would be glad that it's being introduced into WCAG 3. Again, like you said, I don't want to put words in his mouth. So
yeah, for sure. But like for example, you go to under laws on this website and it says, well, Arizona has a law, the Arizona Consumer Fraud Act, which prohibits deceptive practices, fraud, and misinterpretations in the sale of advertisement or merchandise. That's great. Good job, Arizona. Arizona is one of the 50 states in one of the countries of the world, right? So even though it's a good law, it's not going to have the kind of, national clause that WCAG would have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Arizona. I'm in the Phoenix area, and we just
you have the law of just randomly. I didn't even know that.
We have that law, and it's great. And I've read the law. It could be a little better, I think, but they make up for it with the North Korean IT hackers. So they just had a big bust here.
Awesome.
It's a seesaw of legal, wins and losses, in tech. But the law itself, it could be written a lot better. I mean, I don't know if there are many politicians, if any, that are pretty good at tech.
Yeah. So there's that. There's can spam. That's a national law. But it's so specific to email, whereas this is about all interactive content. So again, it would have better scope here and stuff like that. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. And a lot of people ask me, well, what about, and I have no control of neither does the W3C or WCAG. But what about the do not call list? I said, well, first of all, it doesn't work. Secondly, that's out of our hands. That's FTC regulations, and that's not what we do.
Sure, right. Scope matters here. You want it to be wide and powerful, but not so wide that it's just this unenforceable maniac stuff. Yeah.
Well, and
Interesting.
So I think too, like, I think it's, you could look at accessibility, or you could look specifically at these like deceptive patterns stuff, like as like I don't know. I want to use the phrase like liberal paternalism, like you better not. That's mean to people, or but what the deceptive patterns site, deceptive.design, and what it shows is there's actually lawsuits happening already, right? Like this is not like we invented this because like we are whatever woke and crying over things that don't need to be addressed. It is like this is something that is happening, right? Like this is lawsuits are happening. Like I think this week or I'm reading an article like Amazon like settled for like 2.5 billion with a B for like making it hard to leave Amazon Prime. Like these are big things, right? Like these are like they're like these patterns that people have done to like whatever reduce churn or increase signups are not good, and you could actually have a legal hiccup all without WCAG in effect, right? Like, and even the EU already has some banned, I think is what it's kind of suggesting here through like one of this. I don't see the actual citation, but like it's part of like this whole like you could have, I don't know, I'm kind of going off this Pavel Samsonov article, UX so bad that it's illegal. So it's a really good post, so we can link it up in the show notes. But yeah, it's kind of wild, right? Like it's
that
not
is a
just
good post, by the way.
making
I
it
love
up.
that.
It's saying, hey, these are happening. Here's how you don't do this, right?
Yeah, yeah. And, I'm sure, if we come to the recommendation stage of WCAG 3 and it's, time to open it up and say, okay, everybody, here it is. You can use it now. Unwrap it, and it's, get that whiff of that new package, sent. I'm sure these companies will say, well, it's time to get to work to see what we can do to get around these.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them will. Hopefully it's a net gain, though, Yeah.
Big one that I brought to the table, which has met considerable pushback, has been infinite scrolling, which has been the absolute bane of my existence. Probably maybe because I'm getting older, but when I was doing accessibility audits of websites, and I had a page that scrolled on for miles, felt like I was running a marathon, trying to get to a footer that I could never get to, and then I'd have to call my client and say, do you have a page where I can access a footer? And
I get it. It's always amazing when you can see the footer and then it loads more stuff. Yep. You're like, you made it. You designed the footer, but you can't actually get to it. That's funny.
I am still pushing for that one because, of course, there's a lot of implications.
Oh my gosh. Make infinite scroll illegal? That's a good T-shirt.
It's not as, but that is a good idea. Maybe I should throw that into my shop, my T-shirt shop. Yeah, but I have in my new talk, which I'm giving at Magnolia Conf in a couple weeks, as a matter of fact. Hopefully, I'll be able to fly down there to Jackson, Mississippi. But the inventor who now leads the the Center for Humane Technology, Asa Raskin. He's got a podcast and everything. I did some research, and he said in an interview that, and I quote, "I regret that I didn't think more about how this thing would be used. And I know as a designer that by taking away the stopping cue, I can make you do what I want you to do." And he went on to say, "I contributed to this, and I have been complicit." And then he went on to say, and he went on to end it, we are losing control of the tools we make, which I couldn't agree more with. He is my arch enemy at in a little playful manner, but I'm saying, how about pagination? How about, you get to a certain stopping point and you have that load more button. Exactly. That's the kind of anti-patterns that, and I'm not saying infinite scrolling is deceptive, because it's not, but it's an anti-pattern. I think it's just bad UX, period.
Yeah.
And
you can have your bugaboo. That's Todd's. Yeah. You heard it here first. I like that he's a designer. There's a little bit of an undercurrent lately of kind of throwing designers under the bus, of being sort of complicit with what's going on here. Now so much of the web is garbage. Designers are making it garbage. Not, they might be being forced to. There might be more powers at work here, but like kind of the glory days of I don't know, wearing a fancy hat and smoking a long cigarette as a designer because you're this fancy person, or having delusions that you're saving the world and everything is design, is starting to be like, yo, I don't think you did a good job with this. I don't think it's I don't know, like, you're a little bit at blame here. There's a couple of articles. Dave linked up UX so bad that it's illegal. It's great. Let me read the first paragraph. Once upon a time, there was a consensus about the design process. We would do research to understand user needs, and then we would do design to satisfy those needs. That consensus, it seems, is gone. From Cory Doctorow's thesis on enshittification to Ed Zitron's rot economy to the no consent culture of AI, the trend is clear. Users should be thankful for what they get, say our corporate overlords. Any problems are their own fault and nothing to do with us. Google has wholeheartedly embraced this trend by cutting every researcher under staff level in its cloud division, just for example, and it goes on and on. That's a baller opening, I think. Like, gee, here's another one on Financial Times. Why designers abandoned their dreams of changing the world. Opening paragraphs. In the heroic area of design from the early to mid 20th century, it became kind of a cliche to put a claim on everything. Every single thing on Earth not produced by nature had been designed. That was the spiel. Design wanted it all. Now the Earth is a mess. Its climate is warming rapidly. Its seas are full of waste. There are microplastics in the glaciers. The air is polluted. The forest is being destroyed to make more stuff. If everything is design, then design is responsible for all of it. Now it scopes down a little bit from there, but it makes some bold statements that's like, are you sure you want to take responsibility for where the world is headed? Because if you do, you dinked it up, designers.
And I just wrote an article on the architecture of anxiety and shame, and I'm slowly rolling out more of what I've been researching the past 6 years. I put that out on my blog, and I'll throw that link in the chat if you want to take a read.
I love your freaking domain, toddle.dev, because there's Toddle, like it's like a website builder thing. I think even you wrote an article about it that was kind of like reviewing it. You're like, don't hate it, but maybe you should hire me to fix it up, which was hilarious. And maybe they should, if you're listening, Toddle. But I have to log into a different Toddle every day, because there's a Toddle for kids that's like for schools where and that's just what our school uses. So all the like communication with the teachers and stuff is all on a different Toddle. And the third most important Toddle is the personal website of Todd Libby, of course.
Absolutely. I highly recommend it. It's a great read.
That's great. And you all can see Todd in person. Go to Magnolia Conf. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, October 21st through 23rd in, what did you say? It's in Jackson, right?
Jackson,
Mississippi.
Yes, it's a great little conference. Great food, which I'm particularly
excited about some down south food. Hell yeah! Looks like a Shop-O-Maniac Blake Watson will be there. That's pretty rad.
Blake will be there. Yep, a lot of great speakers. I will be in a lobster costume because it's a Halloween theme conference.
Nice. Speaking of claws, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, sometimes I get a little shellfish. Horrible bad joke.
But butter them up, buddy.
Yeah, I'll be going over, my presentation on, safety and deception. Going over 5 other topics with examples and stuff. And I don't know. This is kind of a little fact I like to throw out there, but deceptive patterns go back to 1938, and specifically 1938 Germany. So,
not the good one.
No. And let me throw this link in here for you because I cannot do it justice by describing it. So,
oh my God, is there a checkbox on some paper form that's like, I don't want to not donate monthly to Hitler's campaign?
You hit the nail right on the head.
Oh, that's scary.
Oh,
who's
boy.
going to vote against Hitler? Well, we'll find out after these messages.
That's funny.
I love that the perfect joke about this is what it actually was. That's sad.
It's like Ya and 9, and 9 is a tiny circle, and Ya is a very large circle. That's wow.
Yep.
That's
wow.
Whoa. Hey. Well, Todd, thank you so much for coming on the show, enlightening us here. I think this is a cool initiative, and I hope it succeeds and fully lands as you envision. But for people who aren't following you and giving you money, how can they do that?
Well, I'm on Blue Sky. You can find me on Blue Sky, even though, it's kind of a war zone there, too, these days, I guess. But I like to tell, bad dad jokes, puns, and throw a little tech in there now and again. Some accessibility stuff. It's at toddl.dev, kind of like my site. That's pretty much where I mainly stick to these days. I'm on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, I kind of feel like I've taken a bath in dirty water after I log out. Other than that, it's just Blue Sky. It's Blue Sky. I have a GitHub account. You can find me on GitHub, I guess.
Yeah.
But
awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much, and thanks. We really appreciate it, and thank you, dear listener, for downloading this in your bucket. Share it up. That's how people find it. Sure, follow us on one of the good ones, and then join us over in the Discord. Todd's there. Patreon.com/ShopTalkShow. Chris, you got anything else you'd like to say?
No, I feel like I have to be extra careful, though, not to say anything deceptive, But I'm allowed to ask you to come to ShopTalkShow.com.